cafeteria.
Yeah.
Varsity Hall, is Catherine Doherty. She is the founder of our community, and Catherine had a great faith. She had the faith to see that the face of Christ was in every human face, and especially in the poor, in the disfigured face, in the addicted, the unemployed, the beat up. And that's what brought her to Regina. In 1966, the bishop of the Archdiocese of Regina invited her to open the Marian Centre, which is a place in Regina which serves the poor and the homeless and the addicted. And it's very simple. We offer a place of friendship, a place where we serve primarily men. We've served women and men over the years. We've been there since '66, so 53 years. And now there's a separate place for women. So we serve primarily men. And the bishop invited her to come, and she came and decided that we could do this as a community. Rob was just saying that our community's name is Madonna House. We're composed of laymen and women and priests, all of whom take a lifetime commitment to live poverty, chastity, and obedience. So and we're a small community. We're only about 200 members, but we have about 18 missions, of which this one in Regina is one. And the three of us that are here, we're five actually, who staff the Marian Centre, and it's a place where men come for food, a hot meal, and clothing. But more than that, they come for friendship. They come because they know they're welcome. They know it's a safe place. And I, like yourselves, I probably the school that I went to was not too unlike this. And when I was growing up, I remember asking myself, what does poor mean? What does it mean to be poor? And we all have our own experiences of that. We know poor. We have our own experiences of that. But it might be a world away. But the poor are very much like yourselves. Each of you has a story. That's how you got here. You have your own personal story. Everyone has a story. So everyone who comes to the Marian Centre for a meal, because they don't have warm clothing, because they don't have long johns or gloves or toque, they all have their story. And they're often painful stories. They're stories of addiction. There are stories of broken families. There are stories of having worked hard for a long time and they're no longer employable. And so they come to us. There's stories of loneliness. They, like all of us, need friendship. So to come to a place where you know you can sit down and be welcome and be warm day after day, year after year, is something that we all need. So the Marian Centre is not a big place. We're a small place. The Marian Centre dining room is not nearly as big as this church. It's smaller than that, but it's personal. So if we serve 80, 90, or 100 people for lunch, they come for like a continental breakfast in the morning, and they might just linger and stay, play a game, read a newspaper, stay for the hot meal at noon, and then go. The way this works, though, is because in our community, we don't receive a salary. We've made a promise of poverty. So we eat the food that comes. We dress with the clothing that we're given. And we're supported by many, many volunteers. So Rob's mom and dad have been volunteering at our community for decades. So we have many, and Terry O'Malley, who brought us out here today, he's one of our regular Monday volunteers. So all of those who serve the meals, help us to prepare the meals, bring the clothing, bring the food, the garden produce, we'll get a whole cow donated, that happens, so that's in the freezer, we have food to prepare. This all comes by way of generosity. The way this works, to do this day after day, year after year, you have to have a vision. And the vision that Catherine Doherty, had is that we can only sustain our work with the poor year after year, day after day, doing this humble work, because it's humble work. We're talking about chopping lots and lots of vegetables, cutting up meat, washing dishes, keeping the building fixed. It's very humble work. Rob mentioned Nazareth. Nazareth is all about this humble service. So to keep your vision, how is this going to happen? How are you going to keep doing this? We've been doing it for ourselves, for decades. You have to pray. Catherine would say, if this is going to work, you have to pray. Because God makes it possible. God gives us the energy. He gives us the vision. We don't lose our focus. You would know about keeping your focus. You have to keep your focus if something is going to work. And so the focus is always, God is with me. He's not only with me, he's with you. He's with each person that comes to the door. And so to keep that focus, we have to pray. Catherine liked to use the image of a crucifix. She said, if you want to keep your focus, you have to keep one arm reached out and holding on to God, and the other arm reached out in service to your neighbor. She'd remind us of that. You have to keep that in your mind in order to make this work, and so that it's fun. So that when you go to the door for the 100th time, you're not just tired. You know that on the other side of the door, you're going to meet Christ, because Christ is in each of us. And so that's how we manage. So anyway, that's really what we do. We're serving very humbly those who come to us in need of basic human needs. We do it only with the help of a lot of other people. It's entirely by donation, and with the help of so many volunteers, and more